Hello, my name's Eury.
And my name is Jenny.
And welcome again to the Conscious Cuppa podcast, Season 4, where we are exploring the Divine Feminine.
If you've never heard of the term Divine Feminine, you're not alone. Curious about what she has to do with creating your reality, realising your dreams, and being and having what you do want? Then stay tuned to find out more.
So, Jenny, is there anything she can't produce?
There's only one way to find out. Test her and see what she weaves from what you provide.
Can I make her do anything I want?
Keep the golden rule, and she'll always play her part to create the good and the new.
How can I connect with her?
Imagine the feeling of your desire fulfilled.
Who is she really?
Here's a taste of what our fabulous guests had to say about what the Divine Feminine means to them.
The anatomy of the female body and how that influences identity and sense of how we experience the world, just because of everything being inside.
The magic that relates the female body to the cycles of nature.
The untouchable spirit of that thing.
The ability to create, to make, to imagine.
Like a warm, light glow.
It's within all things.
We made this podcast to big up this overlooked, underappreciated, infinitely intelligent, divine mind who resides within us all.
Grab a brew, take a pew, and let's give the Divine Feminine her due.
What have we got to sip and slurp this episode?
This episode we have Brazilian lemonade, and we have an altered version of it because it usually has condensed milk in it. You make it with limes. It's lemonade, but we make it with limes, sugar, a lot of sugar, condensed milk and water. But because Eury doesn't like the old cow, it's got coconut milk in it.
I like the new coconut cow.
And this was made by Jenny and Eury.
It's looking really creamy. It's not lemonade English or Irish lemonade.
No. Ooh, that is sharp.
Wow.
That's got a kick.
It smells absolutely divine. It's an absolute alive with citrus, and it is delicious. It's got 3 ice cubes in. Cheers, Jenny.
Oh, cheers. Wow.
I wasn't sure about the creaminess and how that was going to work, but it really, really does. And it feels like it's got the whole lemon in rather than, a lot of lemon juice is just squeezed lemon.
You have to put the whole lime in.
Yeah.
You take the pith off.
Yeah.
And then you pulse it. The pith makes it a little bit bitter, so you have to get rid of the top parts. Ugh, there's so many different ways to make this.
It's delicious though. Cheers.
But it is really good. We hope you've got something wonderful in your glass, in your flask, in your cuppa.
When I get thirsty, I listen to Conscious Cuppa.
So this is what we do. We asked 30 people to pick from 13 lollipop sticks and gave them 5 minutes to talk about the subject written on the sticks they chose. This episode, Eury will be discussing the subject of curiosity and hopefulness. And you'll hear from this week's guests, who are Caro, Matt, Mandy, Roger, Sam and Balarama. Midway through the interviews, we'll also be sharing a golden nugget from our friend Neville Goddard from his book, Feeling is the Secret.
I have curiosity and hopefulness. I think I'm gonna hold on to those and embrace the challenge of thinking through. Like before I picked it up, I was thinking okay, but what I pick here is also, it's choosing me. So I think curiosity I'm particularly drawn to. I think curiosity is important. When I think of curiosity, some words come up. Questions, experimentation, unknown, knowledge, connection. I think curiosity is important for me to connect with others and sometimes trying to better understand where they're coming from, what brought them to this moment in life and how, why they do things the way they do things. I also have that curiosity for myself, trying to think of, connections with past stories. But now I'm also thinking about curiosity, like I think a lot about family histories and history. So curiosity is also what keeps me, connecting with, ancestors, maybe like stories that are not so well known or that people didn't tell me. Curiosity makes me dig. How long is there left?
Can I have a look on the other side if you want?
Hopefulness makes me straighten up on my chair. I think I hope for articulation. Like, I think I hope for being clear with some things. Like, hoping for quality, like, interactions with people. Like, how we understand each other, or how quality moments of intimate moments of connections where I feel like I belong here, and I'm with others, and they also feel like that. Hopefully, a little bit. Yeah, I hope for quality times with people, family members, people here, people in the city, new people I've met.
Yeah, curiosity is, on a human level, is an act of care. It's an act of connection, but it, both personally and in terms of others, it takes work to be curious. Very quickly, like maybe we're talking about with our kids becoming teenagers, it gets lost as we start to trying to assimilate ourselves into society, and then take, I think, and even personally, a lot of work to keep that curiosity growing. I think it's a really powerful thing, curiosity, and to be able to approach things with curiosity is a massive, talk about receiving gifts, is a massive gift to yourself. So maybe relating back to the other one, I think there are not many greater gifts, maybe apart from love, that you can give yourself than the gift of curiosity, because it keeps you open and unstuck and alive. Hopefulness, I feel much more like ambivalent about, and for some reason I'm thinking of what's happening in Gaza at the moment, and conversations with my friend Manal, who remains hopeful that there can be a solution where people can live side by side harmoniously, which I think is an incredible gift, but one I do find difficult sometimes, because being hopeful, sometimes I relate in some way, I don't know, with not exercising agency, but maybe now is a beautiful idea of exercising agency whilst remaining hopeful, because maybe in some situations that's all you've got.
Right, so I've got my lollipop sticks, curiosity and hopefulness. I'm more drawn to hopefulness, as I didn't realise what hope was until I was hoping that my best friend wasn't going to die. And that's when you realise that hope is such a strong word, because you want that person to remain with you, and you're hoping with all of yourself that this person will overcome the difficulties that they had, and it keeps you going for a while until there's no hope left, and that's what really hurts. So hopefulness, I think, is a really powerful word, because it can evoke so much in individuals, whatever they're going through. But for me, that's when I was really hopeful that everything that could be done would be done and she would survive. And unfortunately, she didn't.
Okay, so the last question is, what are my feelings on hopefulness? My feelings on hope. If this is a challenging one for me to explain, I have many things that I hope for. many things that I hope to bring into my life, and I hope to achieve, and I hope to be able to evidence this, that I have achieved these things, and that hopefulness. So the fullness is almost like the completion, the wholeness, to have that hope, but to have that in a more deeper sense, in a more whole sense. The idea, if I'm hopeful every day, I would think that I'm not achieving much. Once I've achieved something, I don't hope to achieve it. I don't hope to stay in a state of hopefulness. But having things, having objectives, having goals, having aspirations, and hoping to achieve them, that's almost a start. Hopefulness on its own, it needs some allies. It needs focus. It needs dedication. It needs application. It needs something to be hopeful. What am I hoping? What do I hope? And how can I meet that hope? Come out of a state of hopefulness and being in a state of abundanceness, or achieving. But as long as I haven't achieved, I will always hope to achieve. If I have that hope in me, that I will categorize that as hopefulness type of energy. That if carried and applied with other virtues, I will achieve my goals and be hopeful that my wider hopes may also come to fruition, and the hopes of my nearest and dearest. But yes, as I had said before, hopefulness needs action. It of itself will stay hopefulness, but if applied, can manifest into something beautiful and lovely and joyful and lasting. One might argue the lack of hope means I have everything and hope for nothing. But I do believe when I reach one object, I'll be hoping for another one. Objective, I'll be hoping to achieve another one. And so there is a feeling for me that to carry hopefulness with me is to have direction, have things I want to achieve, have goals and aspirations, have some ideals, positive ideals, I may say so. And yeah, why not I do curiosity? Yeah, curiosity is something that would help me to break out of a loop. It would help me to change something. Curiosity, it would be the first sort of alarm that I need to change something. Something catches my eye, something I want different. Maybe it starts with curiosity. Okay, let me find out a little bit more about that. Generate an interest, and maybe also help to change, make significant positive changes. May start with curiosity.
It's time for a Neville Nugget.
Number 12.
Can I ask the question first?
No. Number 12.
The subconscious never sleeps. Sleep is the door through which the conscious, waking mind passes to be creatively joined to the subconscious. Sleep conceals the creative act while the objective world reveals it. On with the podcast.
On with the podcast.
Hopefulness. That is absolutely the embodiment of the feminine aspect of God. Srimati Radharani. I'll tell you about an incarnation, a very important incarnation of Krishna. Actually, not very important. The most important incarnation of Krishna, according to us and the Vedas, is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who appeared on this planet just 500 years ago, just around the corner in West Bengal in a place called Mayapur. This particular form of God is a very, very interesting, because he is actually the embodiment of hopefulness and the destroyer of hopelessness. Hopelessness? Yeah, hopelessness. So basically what it is it's Krishna himself, it's God himself, But his mission right now, the reason he has come to this planet is to actually experience the joy and the bliss that his most beloved devotee, Srimati Radharani, feels for him. He's like perplexed. He's like, wait a minute, I'm God, but you seem to be enjoying yourself more than me. How can that be? There is a logic to that, of course. And the logic is that when you serve God, you may have the ability to give him $2 of service or $5 of service, but he's God, so he's going to repay you back with service also. And his repayment back to you is, of course, not going to be the same. Otherwise, he'll be classified as a stingy guy. It's going to be like $5, $10, $100, much more. So if you take that science and do whatever service you do to God, God's going to give you much more. So if there's the supreme servant in this personified form of the femininity of God, and it is serving God, that's already the highest. That's already 100 points. Nothing missing from that. But now then God, Krishna himself, being God, has to serve back Radharani much more than that. So in one sense you can say that the feminine form of God, Srimati Radharani, actually allows and helps Krishna, God, to expand and become more.
Yes.
It's kind of impossible but possible. And that's one of the qualities of the spiritual, that chintya bheda bheto tatra, which is like inconceivably one and different. So how it can be that God is God, but at the same time he's expanding, getting bigger.
Yes.
Perfect, more perfect, most perfect. So in this particular form, he says, I want to experience what my beloved devotee, supreme beloved devotee, Srimati Radharani, is actually experiencing for me, because she seems to be having more bliss and enjoying more bliss than me. So he's like, this is not fair, I want to do that. So the only way he can do that is to actually become a devotee of himself. So then he takes this form 500 years ago and becomes a devotee of himself. And his first 24 years is as, let's say, a normal devotee. A normal devotee focusing on God, trying to worship God, always thinking of God, chanting God's name. And then at the age of 24, he starts to become absorbed in, or let's say, the initial part of his life starts to mature into love, and love starts to blossom, and love starts to take over. And it takes over to such a degree that he becomes mad love.
Yes.
The supreme form of actually love, we would have to accept and understand and believe and see that you would come to a state of madness where you do completely, totally crazy things.
Yes.
So you can imagine God, if God is in that state, what would he do? The craziness that he does is he started and still doing right now is giving the highest commodity, higher than dollar, higher than gold, higher than diamonds, is love of God. And why is that the highest commodity? Because it's by love of God only that you actually control God. So Prabhupada would often say that we're not interested in becoming God. We're not interested in becoming one with God. We're interested in becoming more than God. And you can become more than God by loving God, because then you become the controller of God and he starts to do what you want to do. Almost finished. So in this particular form, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu experiences the highest levels of love of God, which puts him in a crazy state. And in a crazy state, he appears in this Kali Yuga, which is an iron age, a very dark age, a very hopeless age, actually, because there's no way you're qualifying to do anything or go anywhere. And he appears in that darkness, in that hopelessness, and he gives us the highest hope by saying, here, I'm giving you pure love of God. You want it or not, you qualify for it or not, I'm giving it to you. Just take it. So it's like, imagine somebody coming out of Selfridges and saying, here, I'm giving you $2 million. You don't have to qualify for it. You don't have to do it. So this
just
particular, just take it.
Yeah.
Just accept it. If you sit there and say, well, why the hell did I get it? Or there is no calculation on this, because in that crazy love and in that crazy mercy, there is no law. There is no logic. You can't say, I did this, so I deserve it. So he's just giving it freely. And this is what we experience in our lives also. For me personally, there was a state where I wasn't really hopeless, but in one sense I was hopeless, because like, what else is there to life? No one else has anything. No one else has shown me anything. And then I came in contact with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and it's like, just chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, which is God's name, and then you start to experience this bliss and this happiness. Like, wow.
Yeah.
So you came from a dark prison place to like blissful state almost immediately. And that is definitely the highest form of hopefulness that I have ever experienced.
Beautiful.
Lovely.
Hopefulness. I do have hope. Sometimes it wanes. I've had very difficult periods in my life where I've suffered from huge bouts of depression and even suicidal thinking at times. Yeah, there's been some very, very tough, dark days, but there is always some hope and some light. And I find that from people around me doing recovery, being sober and doing 12-step work, and finding a higher power in my life. I think a life without hope is a very desperate place to be. So one of the things that I hope to do is to give other people hope and to provide, some light, shine some light in a way that helps other people find their own hope. I would like to flip over and talk about curiosity as well, which I think I've always been quite youthful, and I love the curiosity factor of life. I always look at things almost like in a childlike way, and I can recall sort of one of my friends questioning me about why I was so fascinated about the moon, because it was always up there. And I said, boy, it's amazing, isn't it? I mean, just look at it up there and look at all the craters and stuff. And if you get a pair of binoculars, you can see this and that. And this was only a few years ago. So I've got such a fascinating curiosity about things and a real excitement about new things or things that I'm going to do. One of my other friends calls me Tigger, because I bounce around like Tigger and I get excited about things. And I think having excitement and curiosity about things in the world is such a wonderful way to look at things. I was going to say something else, but I can't remember what that was. About being curious and excited and look at the world in that way. I mean, it rubs off on other people as well. But it's not that I try to be like that. It's just part of my nature, I guess. That sort of ties in with the hopefulness. I've always said, even though I've had very difficult times in my life, I've always said that I've been very, very lucky, and I do have hope. And curiosity is a really nice way to approach life.
What time is it? I think it's conscious cuppa time. Put the kettle on, love.
We just heard from our 6 guests on curiosity and hopefulness. I did put Balarama and Sam the wrong way round. You heard Balarama after Neville Goddard, and then Sam. And Eury, what have you got to say? I'm going to put 10 minutes on the clock. Maybe you don't really need 10 minutes. You're just going to talk until you feel you've said what you need to say. But I'm putting 10 minutes just so we have a guideline. Ready?
Yeah, I am. I'm an absolute lover of curiosity and hopefulness. I think this is the joy and bliss that Balarama talks about. It fills me full of this feeling. It's so rich, but it's this excitement that Sam talks about. When I'm feeling curious, when I'm feeling hopeful, this is my perpetual movement. This is what helps me continue on the journey. This helps me aspire to new things, these goals that one of our guests was talking about. I really appreciate that this is an innate part of who we are, what we're born with. We're born with curiosity. We're born with hopefulness.
It's very human, isn't it?
It's very human. And, the baby would never get up, stand up, walk, run if they didn't hope to do that, if they hadn't maybe been inspired to do that. When we're given these gifts, when we've got this question, when this question comes to us in our lives, what would it be like? if we were to be the person we wanted to be or have the thing we wanted to have, this is what evokes the curiosity. This is the curiosity being evoked, being brought alive. So maybe you're tired of being where you are, what you've been doing, this old, what we were saying in the last episode, Jenny, you were talking about this old cycle that Sarah's just reproducing the same. We want something different. We want something different, and this is the gift we're given. And we get to hope for something new. And then as we become curious, this grows like a seed into a feeling, maybe again, that feeling of excitement that Sam talked about.
That youthfulness, yes.
Yes.
That also Matt had said that you might lose as you become more assimilated into society.
Yes, but it's innately there. So we do, it becomes kind of covered and cloaked and by what we think we should do and what we're being told we should do at school or by our parents or by society and how we should do this. But then, you know, our imagination, our curiosity is there running all the time. And Roger was saying about how to connect with this hopefulness and curiosity. This comes with a need in itself. And your curiosity and hopefulness needs action, needs application, but also needs nourishing. So, like Matt was saying, so it doesn't stay in the background, kind of diminish. So it grows. So when you see that thing you want, or you feel like, oh, I want to be that person, you can nourish it and see it and feel yourself being that. So it manifests on this level, on the physical level. I loved the fact that Roger was talking about it's applied with other virtues. So if anybody knows about virtues, these are kind of the antidote to what in the Bible is called sin. Virtues like faithfulness. So the virtue of being faithful to this gift you've been given. The added curiosity gives you the motivation and the momentum to realise it in your imagination. I really loved what Caro was saying about how it also brings about understanding. When you're curious, when you're hopeful, it's like that gift is, you get more than you'd ever imagined. So it doesn't just give you the thing you thought you wanted or the person you wanted to be. It always kind of overproduces. It's such an abundant harvest. So along with the thing you said you wanted, you get the understanding, you get the awareness, you get the appreciation of that. So that you can kind of share that with the world, I guess. I mean, I hadn't really thought about what that does beyond yourself and your knowing. But I love that. I think curiosity and hopefulness, as far as the divine feminine, is this connection. So we're in the divine masculine when we're being curious and hopeful. And when we know what this thing is, this goal, I think Roger was talking about as well, that we want. And then we go to the divine feminine in her storehouse, knowing that that thing that we wanted to be or have is definitely there. This is this connection. All of a sudden, this curiosity, this hopefulness allows for this connection. Caro was talking about with our ancestors. I believe that my ancestry is within me and is divine, actually. It's not just about the people that lived in history. It's about this innate divinity that I need to discover in order to create the reality I do want.
It's like everything is present at the moment. Going back to the film Sinners, there's that dance scene when all the different ages are present.
Oh,
the past,
amazing.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. And when we are in that state of curiosity, all the potentials are present. Yeah.
It's allowing for, this curiosity is asking you this question: what do you want? Who do you want to be? What is this thing you want to be? And then through curiosity, through hopefulness, it begins to crystallize. You get this vision, you get this feeling, you know what that is, and then you can be faithful to it.
Yeah, I see that this stage, it's got the Holy Grail question, which you mentioned earlier. What would it be like if I was now the person I wanted to be? It's the place where you can contemplate what that might be like. You can construct it, because in the next episode, we're going to go into that construct, into that dream. But here's the place where you're curious about what would you see, what would you hear, what would you touch, what would you taste.
Like our lovely lemonade. So the words of wisdom I got this episode was about what you get from curiosity and hopefulness. And there are 4 R's.
Okay.
You get reciprocity, more abundance than you even ever dreamed of. You get resolution, you get relief, and you get, like Sam said, recovery.
Okay. I've got LOAD, LOAD as my acronym.
Lovely.
Light in the darkness.
Lovely.
Overcoming hopelessness. We had A for articulation. This really is the place where you're between worlds. You're, on one hand, you've left the house so that you can go and find something new. And on the other hand, you're about to enter the dream. So you're in that place of the joint, the articulation, the articulated place where you're going to have to construct and therefore articulate what it is you want, who you would be. And D is direction. We heard that from Roger. Now you know where you're going.
Yeah. Yeah, this direction is definitely a sage attribute. So that another word for the divine attribute for sure. I love the idea of curiosity being insightful, also bring about hindsight and foresight. I love this. It's inspiring. It's intuitive. It really does connect what you do want with who you're going to be. It's connecting this gift with the actual becoming of this.
Yep, you've definitely left the house. You're definitely on your way.
This journey, this quest.
Yeah, you're on the camel. You're on the camel going through the desert. You haven't quite arrived at the place. You've set everything up here.
Yeah, and divine feminine is calling you home.
And if I was going to add another A to our load, it would be alternate ending. What you're saying is, I'm here to tell a different story now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go on repeat. Roger was talking about a loop. You're trying to break a loop here. So you're going to have an alternate ending. Whereas it would usually end like this because of Hagar. It will, Hagar being your slave mind, your subconscious mind that just does anything you say without question, but just brings on the same thing over and over again. There's no power there to create something different. Now you are definitely creating something different as the divine masculine, and you're about to meet your Sarah. Your
new choices.
A new choice, a new woven world.
Lovely.
Sounds good.
Thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. Yeah. Stay curious.
Stay
hopeful.
Yes. You can contact us. You can send in your mugshots to us at
Conscious Cuppa.
You can send in your questions and suggestions to consciouscuppa@gmail.com. That's CONSCIOUSCUPPA@gmail.com.
Stay tuned to the end for the Easter eggs. We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye. So, Jenny, our lovely Easter egg, our woman of the Bible.
Number yellow, we have Tabitha, the gazelle. She's from Acts 9, and she means clear-sighted and comes to the aid of those who need her.
It's almost like she's the bringer of the gift. You need that something. You've got a want, and she gives you the inspiration.
And
she makes you curious, maybe.
As a gazelle, she'll be fast. She comes really quickly. And the clear-sightedness, it suggests that things are a bit blurry. They're not clear. So maybe as you're trying to construct your scene in your mind, and you can't quite get how it would look if you were now the person you wanted to be, or if you now had what you wanted, Tabitha would be the person to help you see clearly what you need to imagine. Like it. See you next time.
Bye.